ズバリ聞いちゃうんですけど、家賃どれくらい払ってますか？
$5,000.
About like how much can you make?
I would say between 15 and 25 million yen.
What do you do for a living?
I'm head of Asia for the company.
So now I'm the executive vice president of a company called...
Right now, we're in the most expensive area in Japan, the Hiroo district, which is full of expats and foreigners. These people are paying $1,500, $5,000, and even up to $10,000 for the rent here. So today we're gonna find out how much these wealthy foreigners in Japan pay for rent and ask them what they do for a living. Let's go.
My name is Robin Rustenberger. My age?
Yeah, your age? I feel
33.
33,
Good
okay.
old 33, and
Okay.
I've been living in Japan for 15 years.
15 years. So what do you do for work?
I model, I make music,
Okay.
I produce events,
Okay.
and I'm currently the brand development director of Salt Group.
Cost of living in Japan, is it like more expensive compared to back home?
No, I'd say it's pretty much the same. However, you get a tiny sized box here.
So like, if you don't mind telling me, how much do you pay for rent here in Tokyo?
I pay now 140.
140. Is that like average price?
Yeah, depending on the location where you want to live and how big it is, of course. But I think it's a good catch because I've got quite some space.
Fabiana.
Fabiana?
I'm from Brazil.
Okay.
And I've been living here for 1 year.
So like, how's like the cost of living here in Japan compared to back home?
Very expensive. I came from Hong Kong, so Hong Kong is much worse.
It's worse than Japan?
Yes.
In terms of like the rent or?
Rent, supermarket, like food, restaurants, everything's much
Everything's so
more.
expensive. Currently, how much do you pay for rent here in Japan?
$5,000.
Is it more expensive in Hong Kong?
What you get in Hong Kong, it's worse than what you get here
Really?
with the same amount of money.
From Ireland. It's my third time living in Japan. I came here for the first time in 1988. Spent 5 years here, left, came back again for 5 years, and I'm here now for the last 2.5 years, so the last 12.5 years.
What do you do for a living?
Automotive, parts supplier.
What do you do in that industry?
I'm head of Asia for the company.
Head of Asia?
Yeah.
Okay. And like, how's it like working here in Japan compared to like back home in other countries?
Well, I've spent 30 years working in Asia. Working in Japan can be challenging.
Can be challenging. What's like the
Yeah.
most challenging part about working here in Japan?
You never really know if you're getting buy-in to the direction and the ideas that you're trying to sell.
Right.
Because there's a lack of confrontation and people don't really speak their mind
Right.
so openly. So you have to kind of read between the lines, I think, to
Right.
to understand what's
It's called,
really
like,
going on.
Katemae.
Yeah.
Yeah. How much do you pay for rent here in Japan?
I pay a lot.
It's like more than like 500,000 yen.
Yeah.
50 万?
Yep.
Oh, it is more? Is it less than 1 million yen? 100万円? What's like the range?
Yeah, it's high.
It's high.
Let's say that if my company wasn't paying, I wouldn't be here.
You would be here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. When I started, I mean, I came here as a local Japanese employee
Oh, okay.
in 1988.
Right.
And lived in a, tatami apartment,
Right.
two-room apartment.
Okay.
But now, I've kind of, I guess,
Yeah.
not prepared to do that any longer.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm Ankit and I've been here for 10 years right now. So this is my 10th year and I'm from India.
So what do you do for work?
So right now I'm in strategy consulting.
Okay.
So I work for an American company. So it's been three and a half years right now.
3.5 years. So a lot of foreigners are probably like curious, like about how much can you make doing what you do?
I'm in consulting. So
Yeah.
if you work really hard, work your ass off,
Right.
you get paid good.
Okay.
But if you don't, then you just get paid. I think it's a fair amount of pay that what I get.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair amount. You're able to live comfortably here
Yeah,
in Japan.
I think
okay.
so.
How about your rent? Like, is it pretty pricey here? What's like your rent here in Japan?
I live in Yoyogi.
Yogi. Oh, that's
Yeah.
pretty nice spot.
Yeah, it's a good place. So
Yeah.
I pay, I would say in dollars, like it's about $2,500.
Oh wow, that's like
Yeah.
27万? 20?
Yeah, it's like Sanjuman, but my company pays a portion of it.
Is it like 1 LDK? What's like the
Yeah, it's a 1 SLDK.
S?
Yeah,
Oh,
so
okay.
it has like a smaller room
Right,
apart
right.
from the living room as well.
So my name is Jeff. I was born in New Jersey and I grew up in New York and Philadelphia. And I've been in Japan for 14 years.
So what do you currently do as your job?
So now I'm the executive vice president of a company called Telcoin. So we do blockchain-based financial services, specifically focused on cross-border remittance into mobile money platforms in the developing world.
So how did you go about starting this business?
So we started back in 2017 here in Tokyo, and now we're global. We're in, I think, 11 countries, 10 countries, 11 offices. Our founder, Paul, was here, one of my best friends.
Right.
I was working in venture capital, actually, at the time.
Okay.
I joined as an advisor, and then I loved the company. I thought that blockchain was really going to be the future.
Right.
So I decided to just take the plunge, and I stepped away from traditional finance to get into fintech.
So like, how's like the cost of living here in Japan compared to other countries, or you're back home?
Compared to the United States,
Yeah.
especially big cities, if you live outside of like Minato-ku,
Right.
Shibuya-ku, if you're willing to live in a more local area or on the outskirts of Tokyo, it's incredibly affordable. And then if you compare something like that to, I was also looking at renting an actual house here in Hiroo.
Hiroo is really expensive.
And it was like more than $4,000 a month.
$4,000
Yeah.
just to rent the place too.
So we actually took the plunge and we bought a condo in Kiyosumi Shirakawa in Kotoku, which if you haven't been there, go to Kiyosumi. It's like the coolest neighborhood in Tokyo, in my humble opinion.
Is that affordable too?
Incredibly affordable. You can get a decent sized landed house or a decent sized condo in the $500,000 to like $900,000 range, which is pretty high, but like in comparison to what you'd be getting in the United States, if you think of it as like buying something in say Brooklyn, it's way, way more affordable. The biggest point I want to drive to your audience is that mortgage rates. Taking out a loan in the United States, it's crazy. It's like 6-7% now, I believe.
6-7, yeah.
I got my mortgage for 0.69%. So like, I don't know if there's anywhere else on earth where you can get a sub 1% mortgage. So like the cost of ownership here, if you actually look at staying long term, it really makes sense to consider buying. The only barrier to entry there is it's a lot easier if you're a permanent resident. So seeking permanent residency makes the process so much easier. And I was really blown away by how smooth it was to buy a home here.
So like, you have a really nice watch. So what is this watch that you have right now on with you?
It's a Rolex GMT Master. It was like my holy grail watch. And I always dreamed of getting a Rolex someday. And
it's a really nice watch.
And I had to line up. It took like 4 months of visiting the Roppongi Hills boutique. I love it, yeah. Really, it's more than a watch for me because it was like kind of a lifetime goal being achieved. And yeah, it's like never gonna leave the family. It'll be an heirloom for my son someday for sure.
So this is the last question. Can we get a room tour of like your office?
We can ask the front desk. We can't bring you up to the actual office,
Right.
but maybe we can show you the common areas.
Okay, maybe, yeah. That'll be clutch.
All right.
Guys, I don't know what just happened, but Jeff took us up to his office and left us here in this bougie place. So let me give you guys a quick tour of what a luxurious share office looks like here in Tokyo, Japan. Let's go. So this is a meeting room, and I feel like I'm about to talk to a president here. It's a really cozy vibe, I like it. So this is the business meeting room. There's so many nature here. Plants here, plants there, and this is where people make, you know, deals, chain. So each of the working floors has a unique theme to it, and this is a music room. Looking at these vinyls, you can tell that they have a good taste. And this is a sports floor. Look at this dope collage. So many legends here. My favorite is probably Mike Tyson, you know, he bit someone's ear. I like it. And they have a whole terrace in the middle of Tokyo. You never see this. And look at this view, it's amazing. I love it. And they even have a meditation room where you can do yoga here, and yeah, you can even watch movies here. So it's a really nice spot. And this is a kitchen. You can get free drinks and snacks, whatever you want, if you're a member.
My name is Andy. I'm now here for 3.5 years.
Okay, you're from Germany.
I'm from Germany,
Right.
and my contract will run out in 1.5 years.
Do you think you'll miss Japan?
In a certain way, yes. In a certain way, no. I'm from a very direct country, to be honest. And when you come here and you speak with them, it's very hard to assimilate, to follow the norms, to respect them, how they do that, especially in a business approach. Even in daily life, when you look around, my friends are more international sided. And I have only 2 Japanese friends.
Only 2 Japanese friends, even though you've been here for 3.5 years.
Exactly. My Japanese is not really good. It's like for daily survival only. That's it. And that messes it up a bit.
So you say like you currently work here. So what do you do for a job?
I'm a CFO.
CFO?
CFO.
What industry?
Hydropower, so heavy engineering.
Heavy engineering CFO.
Facilitating, mentoring, training them.
So you're in like the management position.
Exactly. A lot of management.
About like how much can you make the industry that you're working for?
I would say you can make between 15 and 25 million yen.
Okay, 50 to 25 million yen. Thank you. How much is rent here in Japan?
I'm living around the corner here.
So like you pay more than Jackmai?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Lastly, like, do you have any advice for people that want to like maybe like move to Japan, like that want to start a career to get a high-paying job?
If you apply here for a job, guys, and you want to come here by your own, learn Japanese. They require that.
Learn
no
Japanese,
chance.
guys. Learn Japanese. What's like your favorite Japanese word you've learned so far?
I have 2 words. One positive and one negative word.
Let's hear both. Let's negative.
The negative one is shoganai. I hear that so often in the business where I'm freaking out. And the most fun word I learned is kuchisabishi.
Kuchisabishi?
Kuchisabishi, which means like you want to eat because your mouth feels lonely.
Even though I was born and raised here, I've never heard of that term before. Hey, I learned something new today.
Noah.
Denton.
I was born and raised in Australia, but moved here when I was 18 here.
I'm from the United States.
So do you guys speak Japanese at all?
Hi, saberimasu.
So what do you do for work right now?
I work at TikTok in the marketing department right now.
Okay,
Yeah.
you work for TikTok.
Yeah.
How about you?
I'm an in-house translator for a startup company.
Gotcha. How much do you guys pay for rent?
So I live in Yokohama,
Okay.
and unfortunate, I live in my parents' place,
Okay.
but my parents are not living with me at the moment.
Right.
But I still pay like 10万円, which is like 100K per month.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah, I have like 3 rooms to myself, so
3 rooms.
it's actually pretty cool. Yeah.
Do you sometimes invite your friends and stuff?
Yeah. Like having my friends over whenever like they come from overseas
Right.
and stuff like that, like they can just
Right.
stay at my
and
place.
have some house parties.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I pay 135,000.
So where do you live?
I live in Akasaka.
Okay.
I pay 135,000.
135.
But actually I get a little bit of support from my company because
Right.
I live very close to the office. It's like a rule they have.
Is it like more expensive or cheaper than when you're back home?
Yeah, definitely cheaper. In Australia, if you want to get 3 rooms apartment, right? Per week it would cost you at least like 5 to 10,000. Sorry, wait. 500 to 1,000 Australian dollars per week.
Oh, okay. I was about to say.
It's really, really difficult to live by yourself in the US for a similar price.
Right.
It's hard to compare because I
Right.
feel like the space you get is very different. If you live somewhere in New York City, you're still paying for similar sizes as Tokyo
Right.
and like just as much, if not way more.
Right.
The rest of like the quality of life based around like the apartment I live in is like makes the value so much better than the price. Does that make sense?
あ、ミリンです。
職業今何してますか？
今は芸能活動とトレーニングとかを
トレーニング？
はい、やっ
トレーニングってますパーソナルみたいな感じで。
てはないんですけど、ちょっと今後それをやっていきたいなと思ってちょっと勉強中です。
ズバリ聞いちゃうんですけど、家賃どれくらい払ってますか？東京で。
内緒
内緒なんですか？あ、じゃあ20より上ですか？そうですね。20よりはまあ上。あ、それは日本って結構高いですかね、その住んでて。高いと思いますか？
高いと思います。特に港区は。
あ、港区高いですか？やっぱ
高
り。
いと思います。
日本以外に住んだことってありますか？
中国のハルピンとか、あとまあ1年間なんですけど上海に住んでたりとか。
中国と日本どっちの方が住んでて好きでした？
日本です。
日本。
日本です。
どういうところが一番好きですか？その日本の。
日本のご飯が一番好き。
じゃあ今やってる仕事で一番のやりがいって何ですかね？
やりがいは、なんかこう私 SNS を発信することが多くて、でそれでこうみんなの参考になるメイク動画とか、そういうのをこう参考になるから嬉しいとかそういう言葉をいただけるのが一番やりがいだと思う。
一番やりがいがある。
はい。
ちなみにその SNS のアカウントなんていうアカウントですか？
あ、MIRIN オフィシャル。
オフィシャル。
ミリンオフィシャル。
それから出てくる。
はい、出てきます。